I wasn't even snooping. That's the worst part. I was syncing photos from my work tablet to my personal phone. Something I did every couple weeks, when the notification popped up. A text. Not even to me. The icon was her messaging app. Her dumb mistake? She'd forgotten to sign out on the tablet I'd loaned her last month. I almost ignored it. Then I saw the name. Colin. That name punched the air out of my chest. She told me about him once, back when we first moved in together. A walking red flag, she said. Biggest mistake of my life. She'd said it with this bitter smirk that made me feel sorry for her. Well, I tapped the notification. The thread was short, just a few exchanges from earlier that week. But one line hit like a crowbar to the ribs. Just waiting for the payout. Then I'm yours. I blinked. Read it again. Same damn sentence. Same heart drop. There was no follow-up. No, maybe it means something else. Just that one line sitting there like a trap I hadn't seen until it snapped shut. My hands were cold. Not shaking, just cold. I closed the app and sat back against the couch. That couch we picked out together on a rainy weekend. That she pretended to care about. I looked around our condo. My condo. I was the one who paid the down payment. I handled the mortgage. She just moved in. Contributed nothing but candle subscriptions and fake compliments about my job. No yelling. No confrontation. Just clarity. A kind of ugly, steady understanding that she'd been working me like a long con. This wasn't a one-time screw-up. This wasn't a drunk mistake or some emotional moment of weakness. This was planned. I sat there in the quiet, hearing the buzz of the fridge, the faint hum of traffic outside, and realized I didn't even feel heartbroken. Just used. I got up, walked to the kitchen, poured myself a drink, and stared out the window at nothing. She'd be home in an hour. I had no idea what kind of face I'd need to wear, but I knew one thing for damn sure: whatever game she thought she was playing, it wasn't over. Not by a long shot. So I made her breakfast the next morning. Eggs, toast, black coffee, just how she liked it. I asked if she wanted me to drop off her dry cleaning on my way to work. She smiled, said, "You're the best." And I smiled back like I didn't know. For the next 3 days I played dumb, played loyal, played exactly the guy she thought I was. Dependable, clueless, easy to lie to. I packed her lunch, kissed her goodbye, kept up the act. And I watched her closely, studied her body language, her patterns. The way she checked her phone under the table when she thought I wasn't looking. The way she got bored when I brought up our future, mortgage options, vacation plans, maybe getting a dog. Her eyes would glaze over. But she came alive after those sneaky little texts, laughing to herself, biting her lip like a schoolgirl. She wasn't even hiding it anymore. What she didn't know, what she never cared to ask, was that the inheritance had already cleared. My uncle passed 6 months back. Left me enough to pay off my student loans and still have room to buy a small house. Modest, but all mine. I was going to surprise her, show her I'd cleared our future. But she already had one lined up with Colin. So I staged a collapse instead. I pulled up a federal debt collector template online, found a real firm, just changed a few lines, printed it on old office paper I had in a drawer, made it look beat up and official, used language like outstanding liability and final attempt to resolve balance, folded it into thirds and slipped it under a couple junk envelopes near the entry table. Then I waited, didn't say a word, didn't check to see if she'd found it, just went about my day like nothing was off, still smiling, still pretending. That night, I said I was heading to the gym around 7. Grabbed my keys, drove a few blocks, parked, and sat in silence. Didn't even turn the radio on, just waited. At 8:30, I came back. The place was quiet. Her keys weren't on the hook. Her coat was gone. So was her laptop. The drawers on her side of the dresser were empty. No big goodbye. No dramatic scene. Just a stupid little note on a sticky pad, slapped onto the fridge. "I can't take this stress. I need stability. I hope you understand."
Yeah.
I understood perfectly. I walked through the apartment, scanning what she chose to take. Clothes, makeup, phone charger, even the candle she liked in the bathroom. But she left the picture of us from last Christmas on the shelf. I guess even she knew that was fake. I didn't sit down, didn't pour a drink. I just started pulling trash bags from the pantry. Every item of hers that was left behind went in. Neatly, quietly, without a second thought. I wasn't angry. I wasn't relieved. I was focused. She thought she bailed on a sinking ship. She didn't know I'd already built the lifeboat. I dropped the last trash bag by the door and didn't even bother tying it. Her stuff sat in black plastic, same way it entered my life, cheap and disposable. The condo felt hollow, like the echo of something that used to pretend to be real. I didn't mope, didn't sit on the couch and reflect. I opened my laptop, logged into the bank app, and checked the inheritance again. It had cleared 2 days earlier. Timing couldn't have been cleaner. I had the funds. No mortgage. No credit pulls. I wasn't dragging anyone else into the next chapter. By the weekend, I had a place picked out. 2-bedroom fixer-upper just outside of Dayton. Quiet street. Small yard. Needed paint, a new kitchen faucet, and probably some wiring updates. But it had a sturdy porch and no one telling me how sad and outdated brick houses looked. I paid in cash. Signed the paperwork in an empty office with a sleepy notary who barely looked up from her coffee. Then I drove straight there, unlocked the door, and stood in the middle of the living room while the HVAC kicked on for the first time in years. No scented candles. No fake plants. Just the smell of old wood and dust and freedom. First thing I did was take a picture. I stood on the porch, held the key up in one hand, snapped it with the other. Caption, just moved in. I hit post. Didn't think twice. Didn't even take a sip of the beer I brought before the notifications started rolling in. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Her name lit up my screen 3 times before I even locked it. Missed call. Missed call. Missed call. Then a text. Is this a joke? What house? Then came the call from him. Colin. Name showed up bold like it belonged there. I stared at it. Let it ring. Watched the screen go black. And then I laughed. Out loud, on my empty porch, alone with nothing but the sound of leaves rustling and distant traffic a few blocks away. I cracked the beer open and sat on the steps. No confrontation. No explaining. Let them stew. Let them guess. Let them realize I never needed them to begin with. The sky turned a hazy orange as the sun dipped behind the old elm tree across the street. I could finally hear myself think. Not just that, I liked what I heard. No more fake love. No more waiting for the other shoe to drop. Just this quiet, steady hum of something that finally made sense. Me, my house, my rules. I took another sip. Let the silence stretch. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like I had to brace for anything. The peace lasted all of 12 hours. Next morning, I woke up to 6 missed texts and 2 calls. By lunch, it was a full-on flood. Hers were syrupy. Fake sweetness that dripped off the screen. I don't understand the notice. Are you okay? Please talk to me. This isn't like you. I'm scared. Just be honest. The act was pathetic. Like she forgot I'd seen the messages to Colin. His tone? Completely different. You screwed her over. You're a liar. Make it right before I do. Right? From the guy waiting in the wings like a buzzard. I ignored them both. Just kept unpacking. Focused on the little things. Figuring out where the plates went, replacing old outlet covers, making sure the front door didn't stick. The work helped. Gave me something solid to hold on to while they tried to yank me back into their mess. By the 3rd day, I was wiping down kitchen cabinets when her name lit up again. I should have let it go. But something in me wanted to hear her voice one last time. I answered. Hey, I said. No emotion. Just flat. She jumped right in, sugary concern turned up way too high. Oh my God. Are you okay? Why didn't you tell me about the debt stuff? I saw that notice and I cut her off. You left. Silence. Then, she switched tones so fast I could practically hear the mask fall off. You lied to me. I laughed once. Just a short, sharp breath. You really want to go there? I supported you. I stayed while you struggled. I deserve part of that house. I almost dropped the rag in my hand. You deserve what, exactly? Her voice got higher, desperate. I helped you through hard times. Emotional labor counts. I invested in us. You mean you invested until the fake loan notice showed up, and then you packed your bags and ran? She didn't say anything. I waited, let the silence hang. Then she muttered, "You manipulated me." "No," I said, cold. "I revealed you. Big difference." Click. She hung up. 5 minutes later, Colin messaged again. "No hello, no question. You're going to regret playing games with people's lives." I didn't respond. I didn't even save the message. Just screenshot it and dropped it into the growing folder labeled CYA. I went back to unpacking. Hammered up a hook by the front door. Hung my jacket on it. Every little thing I did in that house made their noise feel smaller. Let them rant. Let them throw tantrums from their phones. I wasn't giving them oxygen. I'd already burned the bridge. Now I was laying down concrete on the other side. I stared at the wall for a while after that last message from Colin. It was like static in the background, just noise, but I couldn't shake the itch to end the game once and for all. So the next morning I called her. She answered quick, too quick, like she'd been waiting. "What do you want?" she snapped. I didn't waste time. I saw the texts. You and Colin. The payout. The "then I'm yours" part. Nothing. Just breathing on the other end. "You done pretending now?" I asked. Her silence cracked. You don't understand what you saw. I understand enough." Then she exploded. Words flying like shrapnel. "You were cold. Distant. You made me feel unwanted. Colin just listened when you wouldn't. It wasn't what you think. It's exactly what I think," I said. She switched tactics so fast it made my head spin. "You've always had control issues. I couldn't breathe in that condo without you tracking every expense, every little thing." I laughed. "Tracking expenses? I paid every bill while you played house." She went quiet again, but not because she ran out of excuses. I could hear her trying to think of a new angle. "You know what?" she said, voice lowering. "You can keep your stupid little house. I don't even care. Then stop calling." Click. That should have been it. But of course it wasn't. The next morning, I got a notification from my old post. Just moved in. Someone had commented. Colin. His words sat there in bold. Public text. Thief. Manipulator. Fraud. No context. No explanation. Just a smear. I deleted it. Blocked him. Moved on. But it wasn't over. An hour later, a text came through from her. "You'll be hearing from my attorney." I actually smiled. First time in days. That was her tell, always running for power she didn't have. She wasn't threatening legal action. She was panicking because she realized she'd lost her leverage. I typed one reply, just 4 words. "Good luck with that." Didn't wait for her answer. That night, I poured a drink and sat at my desk with my laptop open. My cursor hovered over the list of shared accounts. Streaming services, utilities, cloud storage. Her email still tied to half of them. One by one, I removed her name, changed passwords, logged out every connected device. Click, click, click. Every confirmation box that popped up felt cleaner than the last. The final one was the joint storage account, the one she used to back up her photos. I hesitated for a second, thinking about all the fake smiles and posed dinners buried in there. Then I hit remove access. Done. The house was quiet except for the sound of the old ceiling fan creaking overhead. I leaned back in my chair, took a slow sip, and finally felt the kind of satisfaction that didn't need revenge or shouting to exist. She wanted chaos. I gave her silence. And silence was louder than anything I could have said. 2 nights later, I came home from work and found a thick manila envelope wedged between my storm door and the frame. My name, printed in all caps. I already knew what it was before I opened it. Inside, 3 stapled pages, court letterhead. Small claims filing. She was suing me. Claim, $4,800. Reason, emotional distress and unpaid partnership equity. I read it twice, set it down on the counter, and let out one hard breath. Not a sigh, just pressure releasing. Partnership equity. She was trying to turn cohabitation into a business deal. No mention of the part where she dipped the second she thought I was broke. No mention of the guy she told, "Then I'm yours." She thought court would scare me. What it actually did was focus me. Next morning, I called my old landlord to confirm the last of the move-out logistics. He sounded uncomfortable right away. Yeah, so Evelyn came by last week. Said you were out of town. Gave written consent to release the deposit. My stomach dropped. What? She said you guys agreed she'd collect it. I'm really sorry. I didn't think to call. It looked legit. She forged it, I said flatly. He paused. Yeah, I figured that out about a day later. I'm sorry, man, but it's a civil issue now. You'll need to go through the court. So now it wasn't just the fake lawsuit. She'd also walked away with my $2,400 deposit. Cool. I hung up and opened a new file on my laptop. Title, Counter Evidence. I didn't rant. Didn't call her. I just started building. I printed her breakup note, the sticky one from the fridge. I took screenshots of every text, every fake sweet message, every nasty threat, the inheritance timeline, the sale record for the house. I even dug up the mocked-up debt notice I'd made and saved, with the timestamp showing it was never sent. Every piece got its own folder. Then I sat down and drafted a demand letter for the deposit. Straight to the point. Stated the facts. Included the lease agreement, the bank statement showing my original payment, and a formal request for full repayment. I mailed it to her last known address. Certified. She ignored it. No reply. No acknowledgement. Of course she did. She was betting I'd stay quiet, that I'd fold the second things turned legal. She'd always confused kindness for weakness. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't even surprised. I was documenting everything, every message, every receipt, every move she made. If she wanted court, she was going to get it, just not the way she imagined. Friday evening, downtown Dayton, walking back to my car after work. Sun low, streets packed, people everywhere. I just passed a hot dog cart when I heard someone yell my name. Not casual, not friendly, just loud and pissed. Hey, Ryan. I turned. Colin. He was coming fast, cutting through people like he owned the sidewalk. Tight jaw, red face, eyes already locked on mine like he'd been rehearsing this all week. I stopped walking, didn't move. He got right up in my face. Too close. The kind of close that's meant to make you flinch. You better fix this, he said. She's destroyed over what you did. Destroyed. From the guy she told. Then I'm yours. I didn't blink. I don't owe you anything, I said. I don't owe her anything either. Only thing I'm owed is my $2,400 rental deposit she stole. He stepped back like that one stung. His eyes narrowed. She told me you gave it to her, he said. Said it was a gift. For everything she did for you. I almost laughed. I didn't, but I wanted to. Instead, I said, that's real interesting. What is? I kept my voice calm. You repeating her excuse like it was yours. Makes it real clear you two built this story together. His jaw flexed. He didn't speak. You didn't even try to hide it, I said. A guy walked past, watching us like something might go down. Colin noticed and took a half step back. But he wasn't done yet. She's suing you because you manipulated her, he snapped. You tricked her into leaving. That fake debt notice? That's emotional abuse, man. And cheating on your partner while waiting on their inheritance? I said, what's that called? He had no answer, just stared, all bluster with nothing behind it. You done? I asked. He clenched his fists, then let them go. You think this is over? No, I said. I think it's just starting. He turned without another word and stormed off into the crowd. I waited until he was gone, then headed for my car 2 blocks over. My hands were steady. My pulse was normal, but my brain was running hot. I got in, locked the doors, pulled out my phone, and typed a quick voice note. November 3rd, 5:44 p.m. Colin approached me outside 5th and Main. Claimed Evelyn said the deposit was a gift. Indicates shared narrative between them. Confirmed confrontation. Saved it. Dropped a pin on the map. Screenshot it. Everything went into the file. They weren't just messy. They were careless. And every time they tried to scare me, they gave me more ammo. By the time I got home that night, it had already started. 2 unread messages. One from a guy I used to work with. The other from a friend we'd gone on double dates with. Both short, cold. Man, I didn't know you were that kind of person. Guess money changes people. I didn't respond. Next morning, 3 unfollows. 2 people blocked me outright. She was fast, spinning her version before I could even take a breath. Apparently, I was the villain now. The guy who'd faked financial collapse to manipulate a poor, trusting girlfriend. Left her homeless, traumatized. The kicker? Some of them believed it. People I'd helped move, loaned money to, hosted for Super Bowl parties. And they just peeled off, one by one. No questions asked. That silence hit harder than I expected. I didn't need loyalty from strangers, but I thought I had at least a couple real ones. Turns out, most folks just pick the loudest story and roll with it. But I didn't post a thing. No callouts, no subtweets, no sad little truth will come out post. I stayed quiet, but busy. While she played victim online, I built the case. Tight, clean, no holes. Every screenshot backed by dates. Every claim matched to a real event. I had a folder thicker than a damn textbook. There were moments where I wanted to scream, type out everything, burn the whole lie down with receipts. But I didn't, because quiet discipline is harder than drama. And stronger. While she was out there trying to weaponize attention, I was building something that actually mattered, proof. And I knew something she didn't. Court doesn't care about likes. The courtroom looked like a DMV with anxiety issues. Plain tile floor, folding chairs, humming AC that never shut off. No jury, just a tired clerk at a plastic table, a judge with half-lens reading glasses, and a few other poor souls waiting their turn. She walked in 10 minutes before it started. Colin right behind her, wearing a stiff button-up like he thought we were in a movie. She looked put together. Clean hair, soft makeup, eyes a little red, probably from fake crying in the mirror. She didn't look at me, just sat, crossed her legs, leaned close to Colin, and started whispering, like we weren't about to hash it all out in front of a judge anyway. When they called our names, we stepped up. The judge asked her to present first. She came in hot, like she'd been practicing for weeks. My partner misled me into thinking we were financially doomed, she said, voice trembling just the right amount. He let me walk out thinking we were in debt, then bought a house behind my back using inheritance money he hid from me. Tears welled up. Not a full cry, just enough to hit the sympathy switch. He emotionally manipulated me, she added. I left in distress. I gave him 2 years of my life. I supported him. I deserve compensation for the time and trust one invested. The judge listened, nodded slowly, then turned to me. I didn't give a speech, didn't fake anything, just handed over my file. Your Honor, I said. The debt notice she saw wasn't real, but the timing matters. I pointed to the first exhibit, her sticky note. She read it out loud when prompted. I can't take this stress. I need stability, I explained. She left voluntarily, before the inheritance was ever received. Here's the bank record showing when the funds were deposited. Next, screenshots. The judge read them silently. Just waiting for the payout. Then I'm yours. I can't wait to finally be with you. Her face turned blotchy. Colin shifted in his seat. Here's the date she left, I continued. Here's the date the sale closed on the house. All after she was gone. No deception. No partnership. Just her trying to cash out after bailing. The judge's face changed. Just slightly, but enough. Her whole vibe shifted from listening to analyzing. She looked at Evelyn and said, "This claim appears to be deliberately misleading." Then she turned to me. "You've countersued for the return of a rental deposit?" "Yes, ma'am." $2,400. She collected it without my consent. I have the lease agreement and proof of payment. Also a demand letter I sent that was ignored. I handed it over. Colin tried to jump in. She told me he gave it to her. He said it was. The judge cut him off. You're not the defendant or plaintiff. Unless you're a witness, I don't need commentary. He sat back, jaw tight. I pulled out my phone. I actually documented our last interaction. I read my notes out loud, date, time, location. His quote about the deposit being a gift. That sealed it. The judge looked at the clerk. Judgment in favor of the defendant on all claims. Counterclaim awarded in full, plus filing fees. She slammed the stamp down. That was it. Evelyn sat frozen. Colin leaned in and whispered something sharp. She whipped her head around and hissed something back. They kept arguing in low tones as they walked out. No more tears. Just blame. I didn't look at them. Didn't say a word. I just grabbed my file and walked out feeling lighter than I had in months. I didn't celebrate. Just walked out of that courthouse like I'd finished a long shift. No victory lap. No smug grin, just tired relief. But word spread fast. By the time I got home, 3 old friends had already messaged me. Man, I'm sorry. I should have known better. Didn't get the full story. My bad. I replied to all of them the same way. No worries. Simple. Flat. I didn't need anyone groveling. I just wanted it done. That night, I sat on the porch with a beer, not thinking about her or him, just listening to the crickets. For the first time in a while, nothing felt heavy. The next day, I heard Colin got written up at work. Word got around about the public confrontation downtown. His job was sales. His reputation mattered. Guess trying to chest puff in front of my office building wasn't the career move he thought it was. Then came the final text. Evelyn, enjoy your stupid house. You ruined my life. I stared at it for a second. Not long. Didn't feel anger. Didn't feel pity. Just nothing. I deleted it. Blocked the number. That was it. The next morning, I was in the backyard with dirt on my hands and sun on my neck, planting tomatoes in a crooked little row by the fence. No grand lesson. No dramatic closure. Just peace. No noise. No lies. No pretending. They thought they could tear everything down and leave me crawling. But all they did was clear the space. Now I get to build something real.